Hello, sorry it's been a minute. We had a hurricane. Don't worry. That is real footage of my street. The house is fine. We're okay. Thanks for anyone who prayed or anything like that for safety. I appreciate it. Anyways, continuing with the video, that's kind of why I haven't put out a video in a little bit. I was pumping at least 2 to 3 videos out a week, and that came to a quick halt thanks to hurricanes. But anyways, that's not what you're here for. So let's get into it. 8K versus 4K. Could you tell a difference? Both example 1 and 2 are pretty much the same settings across the board, even the glass. I shot with the 35 f1.2, which is one of my favorite lenses, and I, gonna be honest with you, couldn't really tell a difference. The only benefit that I could notice was cropping and being able to reframe a full 8K image. Now, could you tell which one was in 8K? Because after I rewatched it, I could not. And I don't know if that's because of my actual vision or because I don't have an 8K monitor or anything along those lines. I genuinely could not tell the difference, especially after I exported it. It's in a 4K timeline, so I feel like the 8K should be extra sharp, and I just don't feel like it is. And that might just be a personal thing. I know here on YouTube, it's going to compress it, so it's going to be even harder to tell. But if you could tell the difference, which one was shot in 8K and which one was shot in 4K, because here's the biggest difference: they're two different cameras. One is the A7R5 in the full 8K. The other is the ZV-E1 in the 4K. I didn't even use the SI, so it's not even an all-eye compression. So I don't know. That was more of a big downer to me because when I'm watching the footage, I feel like they both look so similar. Besides, like, obviously the 8K you can reframe and it still looks as clean as the 4K. But other than that, I couldn't tell a difference. They're both shot at base ISOs. Um, yeah, that was, man, I'm just like, I'm going into a lot of these videos thinking there's going to be a bigger difference. And after doing the tests and like putting them in more so real world scenarios and how I use these things and not noticing a big enough difference is a little disheartening because I feel like a lot of people are paying for these features hoping that there's this going to be this, I don't know, monumental difference between 8K and 4K that they're going to see, and it's just not the case. Like one example was when I did the CMOS versus CCD sensor. There are differences, yes, but they weren't as drastic as I personally wanted them to be. Especially because I like to edit my photos. I like my preset that I made, and I put a lot of work and effort into it, so I like the way it looks. And when I edit both the raw image from the CCD and the raw from the CMOS, they end up just looking the same, and there's little to no differences at all. That is just a lot of money that I feel like people are paying for. And when you step up to 8K, you want something monumental, you want something noticeable and a very drastic difference, something that's actually going to make whatever you're shooting in 8K or whatever, or even 4K. Maybe you're jumping up from 1080p. That I feel like is a bigger difference than the 4K to 8K. The 1080p to 4K, there's noticeable sharpness, there's noticeable like differences. It's just resolving differently. From 4K to 8K, I just feel like technology and what we're trying to create is just not with, it didn't make the same jump as 1080 to 4K. Like when we made that jump, there was TVs out, there was like consumer electronics that were playing back better stuff. Like I don't know if most people know this, but most broadcasted TV is still 1080p. Like if you're watching ESPN Sports, it's 1080p. So I don't know. I feel like most of the world is still just 4K is enough. Don't spend extra money if you think you're going to get more out of an 8K. Obviously, if your job or whatever you're trying to create and accomplish, like, requires that or would benefit greatly from, then by all means go for it. But I feel like if you're like me and you're creating YouTube videos or shorts or vlogs or shooting a wedding, 8K is just not going to benefit you at all. Like it's so much more space and so much more demanding, especially on like editing software and all these different things. You're just not going to benefit how you want to. So, sorry for the rant, but I just feel like I'm being as honest and transparent as possible. I don't want other people spending money. I bought the A7R5 with my own money. I'm not sponsored. This channel is nowhere near big enough for something like that, I feel like. So I bought the A7R5 mainly for photo and video. I'm a hybrid shooter. And weddings, I do photo and I do video. So I wanted something that could do both extremely well. And the ZVE1 that I'm filming on now is more so my everyday camera because 12 megapixels, believe it or not, is plenty for social media and for just kind of everyday things. It's super compact. The video on this thing is incredible. I have yet to overheat it. I don't know. So if you're curious which example is which, example 1 is in 8K, full 8K, and it shot with the A7R5, like on a tripod. All these shots are locked off to give you the highest resolution, or the sharpest shot that I could possibly get. And then the example 2 is obviously the ZVE1 in 4K, which honestly, a lot of these shots came out so much better than I was actually planning. So the depth of field and the way these shots look with the ZV easily go hand in hand with, like, I could mix both of these and I don't think anyone would know if there was an 8K shot in there or not. So I don't know. Maybe that's a testament to the ZV1 and how good that one is. Or maybe that's just proof that 8K really isn't worth it. You can pick. I don't know. That's my personal opinion on it. And we'll leave it at that. So I'm not rambling and not wasting your time. Anyways, my name is Chris, otherwise known as CHIPxHAZARD. Follow me on social media or don't. That's perfectly fine too. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.